everyone. This is Ken Hardison, and welcome to our second show of Law Practice Advisor. Today, we're going to talk with Larry Bodine. But first, I want to tell you, I always like to give a tip, just a real golden nugget before we get started with our interview. But stay tuned, because when I get through with this, we're going to talk about how you can actually use social media to help you build your practice and how to get more clients and do it in a much cheaper way. It's also something for people like me, the dinosaurs. It's always been hard for me to figure out. So I brought the expert in today, and we're going to pick his brains and figure out how to do it. So first thing I want to do is the management tip of the week. And you know, I do a lot of consulting all over the country. And one of the big deals is I'll get lawyers ask me, Ken, how can I find good people? I always find these people, they do a great interview and they don't last 60 days. You know, they just know me. And so here's the tip. You've got to create a system of hiring. And so I'm going to give you a step-by-step. So step one, when you do your job description and put it out on like ZipRecruiter or Monster.com, whatever you're doing, if you're just going to do it on Craigslist, it depends on where you're at. You know, the more you get it out there, the more people you're going to get in. I send mine out on ZipRecruiter, and I boost it too also, because here's what studies show. I hear anybody says it takes from 1.5 to up to 12 times a person's salary once you lose somebody. I think it's more like 2 or maybe 3 times, because it's not just losing them, it's losing what they could have grown and the time that you got to go back and train a new employee. So first thing you want to do when you do your ad is you want to put something in there like put apples or put the word leprechaun or whatever on your resume when you send it in. This tells you right away whether or not these people are real serious about the job, you know, or whether or not they are detail oriented. And probably if you are a lawyer, we have to have detail oriented people. So right there, when you do that, when the resumes come in, you just trash the ones that don't have the word leprechaun on the top of it. And they can handwrite it, whatever, it doesn't matter. Second thing is, I always ask this question, like, and I learned this, I'm gonna tell you a quick story. This is probably in '97, when I was just starting, I really didn't know a lot. We were hiring this girl, and my office manager would come back and said, this girl's great. She's got experience in workers' comp. She knows what she's doing. And actually interviews are really good. And I walked in the office and sat down with her, and I said, I got one question. She says, well, I said, what's a Form 33? And she looked at me, what? She said, and a Form 33 in North Carolina for workers' comp is a request to hearing. And she says, you know, I'm not real familiar with the forms. I said, but you said that you worked 2 or 3 years in a workers' comp practice at a paralegal? And I looked at my office manager and I said, that'll be all I have today. So the deal is people can interview very well and know you. So you got to ask the right question. So always at the end of on my job description, I say, when you send in your resume, please answer this or maybe 2 questions. And if it's a workers' comp, I would say, tell me what a Form 18 and a Form 33 are in North Carolina. If it's a litigation paralegal, I say, tell me how to issue a summons in North Carolina. What's the process? Give me a step-by-step process. And how long do you have to wait before you do alias and plurals? And what is an alias and plurals? And if it's like a domestic law, you might want to know what's the process of going through to get an emergency order. And the thing is, even if they don't know it, if you want somebody that knows how to go look up stuff, you want somebody smart enough. With the web today and the websites, even me, the dinosaur, there's nothing that I cannot find out by going on Google. I promise you. And I want somebody that's got the gumption or whatever, and somebody's paying attention to detail. So that's going to knock out another, 25, 30%. So when you get down to it and you get just those people, what you find out is then you go through an interview process on the phone and let somebody in your office do it. You don't have to do it. Let them pick the top 3 or 4. And if you want to interview them, or if you want your office manager, whatever, and then you pick these top 2 and then you test them. And there's 2 companies out there that I use. There's a man named John Bean, that's Beane, and another one, Jay Henderson, with Real Talent Hiring. And I will not hire anybody without making them take the test, because they can fool me. I'm very gullible. I believe people. I always see the best in people. And so the tests don't lie. So if you follow this process, you're going to weed out a lot of the con artists, a lot of people that are not detail oriented. And then you get down, you don't waste your time, and you get down to 3 or 4, and then you give them the test. And if they both do bad on the test, then you start over. But that's the way you got to do it. So that's our golden nugget for Law Practice Advisor this week. And I want to tell you, we have like 24 modules, 12 on management and 12 on marketing for the general practice law firms. It could be any kind of law firm. And I have this in there. And also have how to train them, how to hire them, how to train them, how to motivate them, just in one module. And we keep it to where you can only do one on marketing and one on management each month, because we don't want to overwhelm you. But getting back to where we're going today with Larry Bodine, social media guru, website guru guy, I want to tell you this quick story. So I just got in from playing golf. Me and my sons want to play golf, and I said, well, I got this show to do at 1. And they said, well, we can tee off, so we teed off at 8:30, and we actually got through at 12. I ran home and got a shower and got up here. In fact, my hair's still wet. But what I want to share with you is that I have not played golf since October for various reasons. And I'm a guy that usually plays twice a week, except when it gets below 50 degrees. But I've had a herniated disc in my neck, and it's been tough, and a lot of things going on around the house and with the business, with different businesses that I've got. So this year I made a commitment to myself that I'm going to play at least one round of golf every week. Even if I travel, I'm going to take my golf clubs with me if it's nothing but to go out and hit balls. And so the moral story, I did not shoot very well. I did not shoot very well at all. And that goes back to social media and with law firms. If it's a hit, if you do it hit and miss, do it for 3 months and then stop doing it for 4 months, it's not going to work. What you learn here today, you have got to be consistent with. You just have to. And so I want to get right to it. Larry Bodine is a good friend of mine. I awarded him the Hall of Fame for Pillman, the Personal Injury Lawyers Marketing Management Association. That's another business that I run. But Larry's been in marketing for lawyers. He's been director of marketing for a large firm. He's on lawmarketing.com. He's been the editor of lawyers.com website and handling that. The National Trial, he's editor of the National Trial Lawyers Association website and their social media. He's the head of the Mastor Nexus website, doing their social media. This man is really all around a genius when it comes to websites, online marketing, and social media. And so, Larry, I want to thank you for agreeing to come here and share with us this day your knowledge. So we're going to pick your brain, if that's all right, my friend.
Hey, Ken, it's a thrill to be here. I always enjoy working with you, and I've done some preparation, and I'm here to give some practical tips for attorneys on how to succeed on social media.
Yeah. So just asking you something, because, I like to stay relevant. Would you say that the presidential election was won on social media?
In my opinion, yes. It was this election, more than any other, was really the advent of social media. As it turns out, something like 60% of people get their news on social media. And, a good example of this is Twitter. Our current president has a Twitter handle called Real Donald Trump. He's got 25 million followers. And on a typical day, his tweets are shared 15,000 to 35,000 times. And it's so effective that it's even got more followers than the official President of the United States Twitter handle, which has only 15 million followers. So by clever use of Facebook and Twitter. I believe this election was won and lost depending on how well you did on social media.
So I got another quick question. How many Twitter followers have you got? Because I know you got a load.
Well, I've got 23,000 that I've built up over the last 5 years. And I got to say, the beauty of it is that anytime I want to get a message out to 23,000 people, all I have to do is find a picture, determine what I'm going to say, and send it out. I don't need an intermediary. I don't need a public relations agent, and I don't need to talk to a newspaper reporter. I've got my own medium for getting the word out about what I have to say.
So does social media work for lawyers to get cases? Because, you know,
Yes.
I hear yes, I hear no.
Well, the statistics say yes. FindLaw last year came out with research on how people respond to how effective business development is for attorneys. And they found that 54% of consumers are likely to hire an attorney who has an active social media account. So that's 54%. But now, if you just focus at young people, you know, the millennials, 72% said that they would be likely to hire an attorney who's got a social media account. And, you know, the statistics are there, and you just have to look at, you know, the success that Donald Trump had, and you know that social media works.
Yeah. Well, Larry, I was thinking, hey, Jennifer, hey, Grace, hey, Terry. Glad y'all came today. So I think that millennials, well, I know I've read the statistics too, they're going to be the biggest share of the marketplace in the next 5 years. And that statistic you said about 72% weighs heavy on my mind. And I'm afraid that usually lawyers are the last ones to pick up some marketing tip. I mean, the major corporations do it, and then other small businesses do it, and then lawyers catch on to it. So there's so much out there. There's Twitter, there's Facebook, there's Instagram, there's Snapchat. You know, we can't do it all. There's LinkedIn. What should we do?
Well, that's a good point. What I would recommend for starters is to focus on Facebook. It's far and away the largest platform. I just checked, and it's got 1.86 billion people with a B who are active users. It's the fastest growing, even at that size, and it's got the most engagement. So you really can't skip Facebook. Now, there's a couple of picture-oriented social media that are worth paying attention to. One is Instagram. It's got about 400 million people on it, and the other one is Snap. It's going to go public, and it has about 150 million people. Interestingly, Facebook owns Instagram, so you see there's a real nice synergy there. And then, of course, there's Twitter, which has got about 150 million followers. So if you had to pick two, I would say start with Facebook and then continue with Twitter. Now, there are some other ones out there like LinkedIn and Google+, but in my experience, these are not areas where you're going to get a lot of engagement. They also have comparatively many fewer followers. And if you're a busy attorney, I would focus on Facebook and Twitter.
So let me ask you this. So you say Facebook, but so how do we actually use Facebook? I mean, do we do Facebook ads? I see lawyers run contests to get likes. Why do I want likes? So let's start with that. Why do I want likes on my homepage?
Well, what you really want is followers on your homepage. You know, likes are a plus. The reason being is that for most people, Facebook is the web. People start out on their cell phones and they start out on their computers on Facebook. And the idea is to develop a following. Now, the reason Facebook is important is this is where people get to know, like, and trust you. Because the hook to Facebook is engagement and immediacy. So if you see something on Facebook, it's going to be something that somebody just said or just observed or just attended. And that immediacy is a real hook, coupled with the fact that, Facebook is not just designed for you to read what someone else said or for you to send out a one-way message. Facebook is all about engagement, and that's the hook. This is the place where you put your content up, and there are a lot of paid things that you can do. You can hold contests and so forth. But in my opinion, it's share your experience. Talk about what's on your mind, where you've been, what you're doing. This is what people want to read from an attorney on Facebook.
How about newsjacking? Because we talked with Mitch Jackson our last show about newsjacking, and I thought, I never did that, but I think it's brilliant. So what he does is, are you familiar with that?
Oh yeah, it's something I do all the time. I've always made a point to, as a former journalist, to stay up on, the news. I read 2 newspapers a day. I get the Huffington Post, I get the New York Times by email. So as well as I have about 50 Google alerts. So I try to keep myself very informed. And when the moment comes that I see something that I have some expertise on, that I can comment, I immediately go onto Facebook and say something to the effect of, I just read this in the New York Times, and here's my opinion of it. This is my take on it. And that's taking a story that's already in the news and really making it your own on Facebook by commenting on it or adding your own perspective.
And then they take it, and if they like it, then they share it with their friends, which if they got 2,000 friends, and then those 2,000 friends, if 10% of those, you see, to me, it's just, that's the way to reach many with hardly spending any money, I guess, just your time.
Yeah, exactly. Once again, you got to remember the reason that social media is so effective is that it's a collection of your friends and your contacts. So these are people who have kind of engaged in a trust relationship with you. They want to hear what you have to say. And people will go on Facebook and just say, what should I do? Where should I go? And if possible, you want to share an experience, because that allows people to comment on it. Now, to me, that's the successful measure of a Facebook post or a tweet. It's how many people reply or comment. And there's lots of ways of making that easy for your viewers. You can use a hashtag, such as hashtag mass torts, or hashtag premises liability, or hashtag auto accident, or whatever the topic is that you're writing about. Be sure to include a hashtag for it. That makes it easy for people to search and find it.
So what's a hashtag? So I don't understand. Tell me what a hashtag is for the viewers that don't know that.
Sure. The hashtag is just the number symbol or the pound symbol. And typically what you do is you start out your, it's kind of like a keyword. So you put hashtag mass torts, all one word. And someone can search in Twitter or Google for hashtag mass torts, and they're going to find everything that you just stated with that hashtag.
That's
so
wild.
It's a free built-in keyword.
So we need to be using that all the time then. So how do you tag people in places? How do you do that physically? Because, I'm a dinosaur when it comes to technology.
Well, it's pretty easy, because there are a lot of prompts, for example, on Facebook. So here's how I begin it. I start out and I ask myself, what picture am I going to put online with this post? And the best pictures, by the way, are, the ones that I take with my own cell phone camera, showing that I'm actually been somewhere. And when you post the photo, Facebook will ask you if you want to tag people in the picture. And, a little circle will come up on the picture, and you can type in the person's name. And also, when you're putting a post on Facebook, it's very effective to put in people's names. So, for instance, I'm pretty active politically. I go to a lot of events where there are public figures. And I'll say, I just saw, I just saw Victoria Steele, who is a candidate for Congress. And when I type in that name, it turns blue on Facebook, and it asks, it asks me if I want to tag the person. Now, the effect of that is the person who got tagged is notified on Facebook that you tagged them. It's kind of like tag you're it, and it's an invitation for them to take your post, become aware of it, and share it.
Okay. So here's the thing that I used to see lawyers do. I don't see it as much, but I would see them put on their Facebook page, their business, hire us, we're the best personal injury lawyers, or hire us, we're the best domestic lawyers, or hire us, you probably need a will, protect your family. I find it very disgusting, but what's your take on that, Larry? Does that work or not?
I agree with you, Ken. Self-promotional material doesn't work. I look at social media as a cocktail party. And if there's somebody who walks into a conversation and all they do is just talk about themselves, they're not very interesting. Nobody's going to pay attention to them.
Yeah. So one thing I wanted to touch on, do you ever take like a blog post and put it on your Facebook page?
Oh, yes. Yeah. So that's one of the really nice things about social media is you can use it to amplify and extend a post that you've put up on your own blog. So I actually write for a couple of blogs, as well as Mass Torts Nexus and the National Trial Lawyers. And the moment I put up something, I go on social media and broadcast it out that there's a topic of interest. Always include a picture, try to include a hashtag. And I find it's a very effective way of promoting something that you've written on a blog.
So I know there's a thing, this a lot better than I do, but I know here at Law Practice Advisor, we use a program called Hootsuite. Are you familiar? How does that work? Sure. I know we use it, but I don't know how it works.
Well, Hootsuite is one of several very effective social media management tools. So, an attorney is going to be faced with, oh my God, I have to keep track of my Facebook page, my competition's Facebook page, people that I'm following, clients, and then I've got to do the same thing for Twitter. So if you open up a Hootsuite account, which is initially free, you get a screen that displays a chart, and you can see, at a glance, what is going on and what is being said on all the accounts that you follow. And it's also a very easy way to get a message out on all of your social media at the same time. So for instance, you can install a button on your web browser, and it's kind of an easy button. It looks like a little owl. And when you click on it, it opens up a box. And it basically says, insert the picture, insert the text. And then there's a pull-down menu, and I can pick, well, I want this to go out to the trial lawyers, and I want this to go out on Mass Tort Nexus, and maybe some other accounts that I operate. And it's a great shortcut. It's an easy button.
Okay. So one thing I know with Facebook, if we do it here we can actually do it not just by demographics, but by geographic. Say like if a lawyer just wanted it to reach people within like 25 miles of his zip code, they could do that, right?
Yes. I'm not entirely familiar with that, although, one way you can control that is when you first set up your Facebook page is only to accept friends who are in the same city or your target market.
Yeah.
So that whenever you do put up a post, it's just going to be seen by people that you want to see it. Yeah. I mean, I get friend requests from all over the world, and I only accept those people that I think I'm actually going to see when I'm walking down the street.
Right. And there's another thing that you can do, two other things I know is one of them is we do it all the time because there's so many people on Facebook that it won't even go to all your friends. I mean, or all your likes or whatever, your followers, because it's so congested that you have to pay we pay like $25 and we'll boost a blog post on our Facebook, and it reaches like 10 times as many people. Do you ever do that?
No, but there are some other services I can recommend. For instance, one is called Twins. It's like the word friends, but with a TW in the beginning, and it's a Twitter tool. And when you go to it, it's an exchange of people who are looking for followers, and you can just, you read their profile and you can click and say, yes, I want to follow that person. And the reason they're on Twins is that they will follow you back.
Right.
By using Twins, I was able to grow a Twitter account from 0 to 1,000 in just 10 days. So
and that's on Twitter or Facebook?
It's Twitter.
Okay.
There's another one that I recommend called commune.it. So it's the word COMMUN and then .it. And what this helps you do is to, it helps you automate the some of the engagement that you do. For instance, one of the most effective things that you can do on social media is to thank people for sharing your content, or to go through your followers and identify by name the people who are your top followers and thank them for following you. Now, you can do this manually, and it's a lot of work. Or you can open up a free account with commune.it, and it identifies all this information for you. And you can preset a message so that every day or every week, a message goes out. It's basically saying, thank you for following me. Thank you for liking my comment. Thank you for sharing it. And frequently, that will turn out to be the best read thing I put up on social media. People love to be named and they love to be thanked in person.
Absolutely. Everybody likes to be, acknowledged. Yeah. So how does video impact the social media?
Well, video is quickly becoming a dominant feature of social media. For instance, what we're doing right now on Facebook and YouTube, it's an illustration of what's taking place. People, the power of video is that it puts you there in the conversation. More people will, for instance, go to a YouTube video. If they have to repair something, then they'll go to a printed manual, because you can actually see somebody making the repair, talking with somebody, opening a package of some new computer part. So video is for a long time been the wave of the future, and I think it's reached a tipping point right now where it's essential to have video for social media.
Yeah. Back when I had my Social Security practice several years ago, we were running some Facebook ads. And the thing I like about, to say, well, it don't work. Well, it does work for some practices, and it probably doesn't work as good for other practices. So I could create an audience, and I love this. And I mean, I don't know how to do it physically, but I know how to tell somebody to do it. And you out there as lawyers, you don't have to know this. I don't even know how to type, folks, but I know how this stuff works. And so I said, I wanted everybody within 50 miles of my office that was over 50 years old, that had talked about medicines and drugs. When I'm talking about drugs, medicines or doctors, had mentioned that in the last 30 days, and had incomes of, and had limited incomes. And then we shot it out. And what I did is I did a video, and I offered a free guide on how to apply for Social Security disability. And then when they went in and got it, then of course I started nurturing it, and I would get a lot of cases like that. And I had to boost it up or whatever, but it was, that's the way it works. Like I said, I can't type, but I built 2 multi-million-dollar law firms. It's like Henry Ford told the newspaper guy, you don't have to know everything if you got people around you that know it. You know what I'm saying? I can know the theory, but if I got somebody that can implement it, because I'm not the best implementer, I'll be honest with you, but I'm an ideal guy, and I'm a good leader. And I think that's how I've had my success over the years. Well, Larry, is there anything that our viewers should know? We're really kind of out of time, but what you've told me so far has been great. Is there anything that, what would you tell a lawyer out there who's got a domestic practice or a criminal practice? what would be the first thing they should do to get on social media and try to start working on it?
Well, I would start learning how to use the video camera that's in your cell phone. You know, the days when you had to have you know, a studio with lighting and spending hundreds and hundreds of dollars are really, you know,
Thousands
days gone by.
Yeah.
You know, what people want to see in your Facebook post is, yeah, you know, they want to see what you're doing. They want to, if you're at an event, like you're at some kind of a meeting you attended, a town hall, take some video and post it online with a comment. People are inclined to share experiences, and you can do that best with video. And that's what people are looking for. You know, it gives you a real sense, you know, that you're there. So rather than put up, you know, promotional videos or promotional posts on Facebook, take a video of when you're out doing some charitable work. Take videos of your staff doing something worthwhile in the office to benefit the community. People want to see how you're making life better. You're making the world better, not, you know, what you're doing to make more money. So use your video camera to share your experience of the softball team your firm is sponsoring. Show yourself doing some good.
You know, Larry, I read something because I've been studying the millennials, and that's really a big deal to them, that you're doing something better for the world, and that you're trying to make the world a better place. And they're the ones that, because they're the ones, they don't even look at TV. They look at Hulu and Netflix, and they use a phone, but they use it for everything except talking on it. I mean, you know, they use it to chat. They really do. I mean, and that's okay. I mean, I've got some kids that are millennials, so I mean, I see it every day. But the one thing that I think that stuck out in this interview today, this conversation we've been having, is that you hit on something that I preach to all my clients, all my lawyers who follow me, is that people refer you cases and people hire you if they know you, they like you, and they trust you. And this social media is the perfect platform to do that without being salesy. So I think the deal is it's not going to be like running a TV commercial and the phone starts ringing. It's more like it's not like a one-night stand. It's more like a love affair. You know what I'm saying? And you've got to take it through before they're ready to marry you. But it's not going to be take you out into the backseat of the car. You know, I guess that's what I'm trying to say. So, well, listen, I appreciate it. And for, if anybody wants to contact you, Larry, do you want to get out your information? You don't have to, because I know you're busy. I'm sitting there listening to you before we started the show. I don't know how the heck you get what you get done now.
Well, the easiest way to find me is on Google. Just Google Larry Bodine, and you'll find all my blogs. You'll find my social media handles. And I love talking about law firm marketing. So at no charge. It's just something I like to talk about. Give me a call. I'm happy to spend some time with you. And Ken, as always, I appreciate everything you do. You know, you are the guy who started it all, and it's just such a pleasure to work with you.
Thank you. I appreciate that, Larry. I thank you. And you've been very supportive over the years now. I appreciate that. And I appreciate you coming on, you know, and helping out, taking time from your busy schedule to do that. I really do. So anybody out there that's interested in learning more things like this about how to grow your practice, you ought to go to lawpracticeadvisor.com. It's very economical. I would almost call it cheap. You know, we have, like I said, 24 modules. We're putting new information in every week. It's a monthly fee. You can quit whenever you want to. And everything I do, I do this. I've been doing this for 11 years now. If you're not completely satisfied, I give you money back, because I believe in the theory of preeminence from J. Abraham, which everything I do is for the betterment of my clients or my people. And if they don't feel like it's worth 10 times their money, then I don't want to talk bad about me on social media. So I would gladly give you money back, because my reputation is too important to sell it over $97 a month subscription website. I can promise you that. So and listen, stay tuned next time. we're going to have Cindy Speaker, who is a guru, and she's going to be talking about Facebook Live and how to use that in your law firm. She's actually doing this with lawyers across the country, and they are getting cases with Facebook Live. And I'm really excited to learn it. She started this about 4 months ago, and it's starting to take traction. And so this is something that you can do very economical. So our next show will be in 2 weeks, I think, or maybe 3 weeks. But we'll announce it 2 weeks, and we do it every second and fourth Wednesday at 1 p.m. Eastern time. But I appreciate Larry today. I appreciate everybody here who has listened. I want you to take this information that you got today and go put it to use, because nothing moves until you take action. This is Ken Hardison. Till next time, dedicated to your success. Goodbye.